how the mechanism of acute inflammation, how acute inflammation occurs. For example, this is the surface of our hand, this skin surface. This is our skin surface. Here, any pin with some bacteria, suppose this is a bacteria, or any pin causing the injury to our skin surface. So after making the injury, what will happen? In that skin, there are cells are there, which cells will get damaged. For example, these are the cells. So when it will do the injury, they will break the cell membrane. And due to from the cell membrane or damage of the cell, which will produce some signaling molecules. Mainly these are histamines or prostaglandins. Histamines and prostaglandins. And this is our blood vessels which is supplying blood to this tissue. What happened? First step, a pin or anything which is causing the injury or infection to particular region. Number one thing, anything injury or any infection occurs to the surface of body part. Number two, what will happen? Due to this injury or infection, they will damage some tissue, and from the tissue, what happened? They will release off some signaling molecules which are histamines or prostaglandins. And third, these signaling molecules will act on the blood vessels which is carrying the blood circulation. Blood vessels which are arterioles or capillaries to this area. And what it will do? First thing, it will do the vasodilation. Blood vessel will dilate, so increase in diameter. So it will cause vasodilation. So vasodilation is occurring. It is the fourth step. Fifth, what happened? In the blood circulation, increased blood flow will be there. Increased blood flow. Along with what are the cellular component in the blood also will come more. And this in our blood, whatever the WBC, which are called neutrophils. These are the neutrophils. That neutrophils should adhere through the surface of blood vessels. 6 is the adherence of neutrophils. What will happen? Adherence of the neutrophils. Neutrophils will attach to the surface, and which will cause the leakage. Finally, which will cause the leakage of some fluid. The fluid will leak the fluid. Fluid will leak to this area, and also some blood cells like neutrophils and lymphocytes, mainly monocytes. This is a monocyte which will release to this particular region. So what this, there more fluid and monocyte will enter to this surface, and which will cause more amount of fluid accumulation, and it will increase the area, which is finally leading to the swelling. And when first vasodilation will occur and more amount of fluid will accumulate here, and it will cause the swelling, and also it will cause the redness to the particular area. Now we understood the sixth step is the adherence of neutrophil. Seventh is the migration of cells. Mainly neutrophils and lymphocytes. Lymphocyte mainly monocyte. And that monocyte which is present in the tissue, it is called macrophage. So first we are coming when a pin injured or it brings some bacteria or it damages some tissue, then bacteria will happen and some cell debris, damaged cell debris also will available. So what will happen? This macrophage will try to eat the bacteria. These are the bacteria. For example, they will try to eat the bacteria, and neutrophil also will try to engulf the bacteria. We know it. So what it will do? This macrophage will eat the bacteria and cell debris, engulf it, and after it will destroy macrophage. And that time macrophage will release some chemical mediators. Mainly they will release cytokinins, which are called interleukins 1, interleukins 6, interleukins 8, interleukins 12, tumor necrosis factor alpha. These are the mainly common cytokinins. And also macrophage releases some other mediator like eicosanoids, histamines, etc. So which are nothing but some inflammatory mediators, and due to this release of cytokinins, inflammatory mediators, and in the body it will produce the pain. And also it will produce the fever. It will bring the fever and pain. So when the macrophage will eat the bacteria and engulf the bacteria, the process of inflammation, during that time it will release some interleukins, tumor necrosis factors, and prostaglandins, leukotrienes, and so many things, and which will release finally, which will cause the pain and fever in our body. And after then, it will the phagocyte slowly the bacteria, and it will destroy the bacteria, and slowly it will cause the repair mechanism. So this is about the mechanism of acute inflammation. We will recap it very easily again. First step, any injury or damage to the surface will occur. First, this is a pin, for example, which is causing the damage. Next step, after damaging, it will damage nothing, some tissue it will damage. From the tissue damage, the release of some signaling molecules, which are nothing but histamines or prostaglandin, which stimulate the blood vessels, for blood vessel dilation. And the blood vessel will dilate. Dilate means diameter will increase, and more blood flow will occur to that particular region. Due to the more blood flow, and in the blood, whatever the neutrophil will adhere to the surface, inflammatory part, and they will cause the leakage of fluid and migration of some neutrophil and monocytes to this region. And due to this leakage, fluid and cells which will exudate in the surface, which will cause the swelling, and the monocyte and neutrophil will eat the bacteria or other cell debris which are produced due to the inflammation, to repair, to correct this inflammation, to heal the inflammation. And during that process, macrophage will release some cytokinins, interleukins, like this: interleukins 1, interleukin 6, interleukin 8, and interleukin 12, and also tumor necrosis factors, which are called inflammatory mediators. And due to these inflammatory mediators, we feel pain and fever. So this is the mechanism of acute inflammation. After this inflammation will occur, the repair will take place, and all the phagocytes will take place, and they will remove from this particular